Good evening, everybody. November 16th, 2021. Bitcoin has continued to push down today. Like I said last night, the closer this gets to 58K, the better, to just kind of reset all of this crap action that we saw here. We are well within the realm of possibility that we have bottomed now. Last night we were obviously a bit higher here, and then today the action and overnight the action pressed down pretty much to the bottom of this box that I had drawn here. This green box, the smaller one, is the target for this to be an A, B, and C down for this Y wave. So we can certainly call it complete at this point. This larger box is basically what is acceptable for the Y based on W and X. So it is possible that we get a slightly lower push down to kind of just meet that 57.8K region there that we got. But like I said, pretty much any time now we could see a bottom happen. So what we need to see, for this to prove a bottom is in, as I said last night, is a 5-wave move up off the lows. And obviously we've not seen anything of that nature at this point in time. There was a small chance earlier that maybe that was a micro 5, 1 and a 2, but then it did not complete and did not go up. Came down and sort of did a double bottom here. So we're going to need to see that develop in the coming hours here. Hopefully pushing up in a micro 5 wave, something like that. If we can get 5 waves up, ideally above here, that would be the best case scenario to really, solidify the fact that bottom is in and we are now in the next leg up. And the pullback after that would be a significant buying opportunity. Obviously this is a great opportunity right now, of course, but to get more confirmation, if we get that 5 up and then the next wave down, would be a really good confirmation and good place to long if you haven't already. Obviously my buys have been done significantly lower down, and so I'm just sitting in those, but I have picked up some leverage, not super high leverage, but some leverage longs in this area here in anticipation of that next move up. As I talked about last night, there is the possibility that we break down. If this continues downwards from here and breaks down lower than the 57.8K low, it seems pretty likely in that scenario that we would be going here instead. And that would put us into the diagonal scenario instead, which basically long term gives us like an 80 to 100, maybe 120K as the end of this bull market. Whereas if we bounce here and get an impulse up off of these lows, we can actually project as high as like 175K, maybe even 200K. So this is a pretty important area for Bitcoin to resolve, and the quicker we start bouncing here and the more impulsive looking it is, the better off it's going to be in the long term. But those are kind of our two scenarios right now. There's obviously a more bearish scenario where we actually break down through here, but it's not really worth looking at the moment, simply because it's not likely to happen based on the prior action that we've seen. I mean, we saw decent impulses up previously, so it would be odd for it to break down and go super bearish on us at this point in time. And so, really just got to kind of keep an eye on this bottom trend line basically, and as long as we're above it, the long-term prospects are pretty good. Below it, we would have to, work out what it's doing and kind of figure it out from there. But I'm not willing to even entertain that possibility until it actually does something that tells me to expect it. All right. So I guess the other thing we could look at this point in time, like obviously this right now is looking like it should be A, B, and C down within Y, but is there a possibility that this is 1 and 2 with 3 going deeper 4, and 5, can we get an impulsive move downwards? Possibly. If we did this, then I would be a little bit more worried about the long term. But like I said, at the moment, that doesn't really look like it's in the realm of possibilities. So right now we stopped at about the 1, 2, 3, 6 extension there, which is deep for a C wave, but it is certainly possible. The 2 extension, if this was going to extend all the way for a 5-wave move, I would expect it to go down to about 54K. So 1, 2, 3 would probably bounce here, and then we would need to remain basically below like 60, anywhere between 60 and 61.5 is where we could see the rejection then, and we would see probably a breakdown of this line and a move to this 54K area. So I know I said I wasn't really going to entertain the possibility, but if we saw this where we remain below that like 61.5 level and break this red upward trend line and get down to about 54, I would then consider the next bounce to be a place to get out, because from here we may be going down lower. So that would be kind of the bearish scenario there, but you know, I'm getting into longs in this area, so if I see this, I would consider basically getting rid of those longs on the next bounce after hitting 54. So just so you know what I would be thinking of there. That's in the short term. You know, the longer term, I'm still going to have to kind of see how it develops in order to say what the longer term might hold. But like I said, at the moment, I don't see any reason for this to break down and end the bull market just hitting 69K. That doesn't make any sense at all with the previous action that we saw. All right, I think that pretty much sums up what we're looking at here. So we'll see what we get overnight, and hopefully we start seeing an impulsive move up in the near future here, so that we can be more confident that the bottom has in fact already been struck. All right, good night everybody.